One of the coolest superheroes ever created was Superman. Created in 1938, he was made to encapsulate American values. He was a role model for children, but as they grew up, society told them that he was unrealistic. But society wasn't wrong. He possesses a wide range of abilities impossible for most humans. Trust me, I've tried. Today we are going to use scientific reasoning to find the truth about his superpowers.
To fuel all of Superman's abilities, we know he must have an energy source. It is explained in the comics that Superman gets his power from stored solar energy he receives via the Earth's yellow sun. Used to the harsh red sun of Krypton, Superman's body is able to metabolize energy from Earth's yellow sun as humans metabolize. From this process, Superman receives the energy he needs to fuel his various superpowers. Along with this, Superman has the ability to store excess solar energy to be used later. However, this process has its drawbacks. For example, Superman can overuse all of his energy resources and be left without the ability to function. It is believed that Superman has chloroplasts in his cells which grant him this ability. Normal animal cells do not have the organelle chloroplasts, but plant cells do. This is why plant cells can undergo photosynthesis. Because Superman is a superhero, it is believed that he could most definitely have a mix between a plant and an animal cell, which allows him the ability of photosynthesis and to get his energy from the sun. This energy he receives allows him to complete all the other abilities that he has.
Now, onto the chemistry of Superman's freeze breath. To understand how this works, we need to look at the Joule-Thomson effect. This effect centers around the idea that when compressed air is pushed through a tiny valve or nozzle, the overall temperature of the subject is reduced, which leads to freezing or solidification of the element. Because of the stored energy from the sun, Superman is able to forcefully push air through his lips and at very high speed. This pretty much allows the Joule-Thomson effect to occur because Superman's lips act as a super tiny valve, and this reduces the heat of the subject, eventually freezing it. Now, onto Superman's main superpower. It is largely accepted that Superman's storage of solar energy allows him to gain a bioelectric aura, and this allows him to manipulate electromagnetic fields, and this is called tactile telekinesis. Pretty much, it means that Superman can control and manipulate the physical and electromagnetic properties of anything he touches. This allows him to defy the laws of gravity and is pretty much the ultimate superpower. This is also what allows him to fly, as he is consciously manipulating gravitons and gravitational forces, and this is seen in Man of Steel. This aura around him also acts as a shield, as when there are objects in Superman's vicinity, this bio-aura pretty much envelops them. This can be used to defend himself or defend others, as when he defended Lois Lane from an explosion, even when he wasn't completely surrounding her, the bio-aura was surrounding her because she was so close to him.
Let's talk about physics. We usually depict Superman as to defy the laws of physics, but is this really true? If we look at Superman's ability to fly, we may think that it's impossible at first, but upon closer inspection, we realize that it can be traced back to his origins. Superman was born on the planet of Krypton, which is 1,000 times larger than Earth. Due to Krypton's larger mass, we can assume that it has a higher gravitational pull in comparison to the Earth, which has a gravitational pull of 9.81 meters per second. Kryptonians, such as Superman, have adapted to the high-pressure environment of their planet, and under pressures like that of Earth, Superman's movements will become much less restricted. This could explain his ability to fly as well as to travel at much higher speeds. A similar comparison would be the humans going to the moon, which has a considerably smaller gravitational pull, allowing humans to jump at such extreme heights. Another proposed theory is that Superman can manipulate gravitons, which is a theoretical quantum that alters gravitational fields. This is also supported by the original comics, which have claimed that Superman has a telekinetic barrier that surrounds his body, which can be expanded to other objects, allowing him to demonstrate incredible feats of strength. This telekinetic barrier could be his manipulation of gravitons and allows him some control of gravity to some extent, making all of his other powers more viable, but gravitons are still just a theoretical concept.
We now turn to the reality of movies that the character Superman has appeared in. Unfortunately, superpowers do not exist in real life. But we do have something just as good. The ability to make it seem like a person can lift a building, save hundreds of people at once, and even withstand the full force of a military-grade nuclear missile. All these powers originate through the magic of computer-generated images, known as CGI, and special effects created by computer artists. The latest standalone movie of Superman, Man of Steel, is notable for breaking many visual effects milestones. One of the unique renderings that came to be through CGI is the futuristic technology of Kryptonians. As seen in this next clip, their primary choice of visual display is a technology known as Liquid Geo.
You came from Krypton. A world with a much harsher environment than Earth's.
This was created by combining both simulation and animation by placing the animations on top of the finished physical simulations. The unique look of the metallic liquid was created through the use of hyper techniques, using lighting and CGI to show rapid images that look tactile enough to touch. Superman is also noteworthy for his thrilling sci-fi battles. At the end of the movie, Superman gets into a fight with another Kryptonian and is launched about 50 feet backward. Evidently, there was no actual fighting, so the way this fight was choreographed was that the beginning and ending shots were taken, with the actors playing their roles, and the actual launch was filled in using live-action portions of the scene. This means that the animators had to tediously animate each frame of the attack for every single shot. All in all, as shown, none of the fantastical fight scenes, imagery, and superpowers would be possible without the use of computer science.
For his appearance in the 2013 blockbuster Man of Steel, Henry Cavill trained for 11 months to become the physical embodiment of Superman, gaining 18 pounds to reach a muscular 183 pounds. Cavill claims this was possible due to a balance of a healthy diet, rest, and exercise. Though Cavill's team has not come out with an official workout plan, they have given insight in interviews that allow us to formulate our own understandings of his program. Cavill claims he did a lot of functional complete body workouts like squats, Olympic lifts, sled pulls, and much more. He says a lot of it was based around a 100 rep routine that lasted about 2 hours. Cavill did this to increase muscle growth or hypertrophy, with the first one increasing the volume of long proteins to make up muscle cells. In order to reach high levels of hypertrophy, Cavill took the following into consideration. When you exercise, there are antagonistic muscle pairs that, when exercised appropriately, can quickly lead to the micro-tears and breaking down of muscles. An example is the bicep and the tricep when doing bicep curls. Essentially, as the bicep contracts, the tricep relaxes and vice versa. To ensure a proper workout, you not only want to use ATP as you curl upwards, but you want to use ATP as you relax the biceps so that the tricep gets worked in the process. This is necessary because the force exerted to move the weight is what causes micro-tears, and if force is being used in the tricep through controlled downward movement, more ATP will be used and the hypertrophy will be reached faster. To ensure the proper regeneration of muscle cells, Cavill took 2 rest days a week and focused on different muscle groups every time he worked out to avoid injury and to give the muscles and connective tissue time to rebuild. On top of this, Henry Cavill emphasizes the importance of his diet. As part of his training, Cavill was on a strict 5,000 calorie a day diet. He would take about 6 meals a day, and a typical meal would look like this. The meals were typically comprised of carbohydrates derived from vegetables, fruits, and whole grains, along with various other forms of proteins or organic sugars. Cavill would eat carbs with low glycemic index because it keeps a balance of insulin and properly gives Cavill the energy needed to work out. On the other hand, he would avoid foods with high glycemic index, like sodas and pastries, because it leads to insulin resistance, which ultimately leads to an increase in waist circumference, cardiovascular disease, blood pressure rising, as well as fat around the body. In addition to the carbs, Cavill also ate a lot of proteins because when consumed, the amino acids of the proteins help rebuild the muscle cells after the workout session. Cavill may not be Superman, but by analyzing his training and his diet, we are as close as possible to figure out how to reach the physical embodiment of the superhero. Over the course of the video, we've covered the science behind most of Superman's powers, as well as the science behind the movies. We looked at popular theories that explain his flight. We learned about Superman's intriguing cell structure and internal system that grant him amazing abilities. We then looked at the forefront of scientific research, as well as accepted ideas that further explain his incredible powers. We also studied Henry Cavill's training that allowed him to attain a Superman-esque physique. We've even discuss the technical prowess required to bring Superman to the silver screen. Although our research has revealed that Superman may seem like an impossibility, our research concludes that Superman still abides by the laws of science.